We all know we need to prioritize, but how do we do it? This person here in the middle is a typical business owner. We have several options, so many different things to choose from. How do we know which decisions to make? We oftentimes feel overwhelmed with all the options on the table. This video today is about how to fix that anxiety. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erkka Suvanto. Some of you call me EJ. I'm the guy who's on social media building a legacy for my kids and passing on all life and business lessons to each and every one of you. I've built 3 companies up to 5 million level all by myself, making all the possible mistakes so that you don't need to go through the same headaches. As I mentioned in my intro, today let's talk about how to prioritize. How do I know what decisions to make and when I'm a starting entrepreneur? This person here in the middle is a typical business owner, having several different options. I need to hire people. I need to lower the cost of my product because my finance people tell me that. I need to promote for 4 hours every day so that my small company grows. I need to contact the customers. I need to deliver to the customers. I need to fix my product, and I need to run the day-to-day on top of all of that. No wonder I'm overwhelmed often. I have anxiety. What does anxiety mean? It means I have several options, but I have 0 priorities. I don't know what decisions to make. How do I fix anxiety? You fix anxiety with decisions. But what decisions do I make? That's the bread and butter of today's video. I want to walk you through my process, which is 5 steps to understand better what to do and when to do those things. I want to start by drawing a simple graph here. It's one of my favorites. It's called past, present, and future. And this represents us people very well, whether it's business or our personal lives. And oftentimes we spend most of our time wondering what worked in the past or what might work in the future. And we miss all this opportunity when it comes to right now. What is it that works today in the world with relationships, with my business, with my product, with my services? And that's why, because our attention goes to past or the future, we dwell on the past or we worry about the future constantly, and we don't see clearly what is it that works today. Because if you think about it, all we have is right now. Nobody has ever been able to change the past or predict the future. Sometimes we need to be reminded that we look closely at our business and see what is it that works today, what is it that the best customers do. Do we have product lines or products or services that actually perform better than the others? Today's video, as I mentioned, is a 5-step process about how to prioritize. What is that I do personally to get clarity? There's this old story about 2 guys getting lost in that dark forest. The other one starts to panic and tells the other one, I don't see a way out. What do we do next? Man number 2 tells the first one, do you see your next step? Yes, I do, says the first guy. Then just take that. And sometimes we need to disconnect and distance ourselves from the goal in the future and actually look at the next step only, and literally like use scissors. So cut those thoughts to the future and to the past and just focus on the present moment. Coming back to the 5 steps, step number 1, I ask myself, what's my goal? Do I want to grow my business? Do I just want to keep it flat but improve my profitability? But understanding that there's always stress related to entrepreneurship. Whether my business grows, stays flat, or declines, there's always stress related to it. Many people spend their whole lives trying to live in their comfort zone, eliminating all the stress from their life, not understanding that that's not possible. The only stress-free people in this world are dead. And oftentimes those people who intentionally try to eliminate the stress from their lives are the ones who suffer from that the most. When we are comfortable with the fact that stress comes and goes, there's nothing we can do about it. We can actually deal with the relevant topics, which is in this case to focus on our business and understand how we have clarity in that foggy and cloudy day. Step number 2 in our process, what business am I in? What do you mean by that? What do I mean by this is that sometimes it's not that straightforward or simple. I'll give you a couple of examples. When I had my real estate business in the US, of course, one might say that, okay, well, duh, you are in the business of buying and selling real estate. Yes, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is that we need to understand what is the bread and butter, what is the core strength, and what are the core skills of being successful in that business. So if I do fix and flips in a very competitive Southern California market, I would argue that I'm actually in the business of building relationships and building trust. In the beginning, I was successful in understanding that I need to build relationships with two key stakeholders who control the inventory in that market. And that would be number one, real estate agents, and number two, home buyers. So therefore, I was in the business of building trust and relationships. And later on, when the business developed, another vital skill was the property acquisition channel. So I need to be able to acquire properties, pieces of land, or buildable square feet so that I can be successful. But in the beginning, the skill that I need to master is building trust and relationships. A couple of other examples here. So this was real estate. So this was trust and relationships. When I moved to Finland, I started a cleaning business that actually failed. Why did it fail? Because in the beginning, I thought that I'm in the business of acquiring customers and marketing this service to the potential buyers. But I was wrong. I was in the business of talent management. I had to hire, train, and retain low-skilled, low-salaried employees. And that was the success. And surprisingly, the reason why that business failed, or actually didn't even take off, was because of immigration issues and things that I couldn't foresee when I put together the business plan. So I wasn't able to see the true core strength and skill set required in the beginning to grow that particular business. So cleaning was not about being in the cleaning business. This was about talent management. A couple of other examples. I've been actively involved in my brother's commercial truck business. And if I look at the success of that business in the beginning, what are the key success factors? It's about understanding what to buy and what to sell quickly. Because you have a lot of capital tied into that inventory. You want to make sure that whatever you buy is something that has a lot of, that the market needs, that there's demand for those trucks. And then you need to be the best in that business in selling those, being able to close deals. So the people you acquire are the ones who are best in the nation in terms of understanding what to buy and quickly being able to get rid of that, because that inventory turnover makes the biggest difference at the end of the day. One more example. Now my new coaching business. As I have mentioned, I have started this business coaching business now. And what is this business all about? What business am I in? I'm in the product business. Meaning, I need to be able to add value. So the quality of the information I'm sharing, the people that I coach or the businesses that I coach need to be able to get plenty of value from me. Okay? So I'm in the product business. The quality of my service determines everything. So that's why it's super important to understand what business we are in the beginning, because sometimes we could be misunderstood, or we actually might have made several mistakes in the definition of the business when we put together the business plan, like I did. So out of these 4, if I look at my track record, so real estate, I was able to understand it. Here, we were able to understand it. And I believe here, when it comes to coaching, I have been able to understand what this is all about. But the cleaning business was a miss. Okay? Because I didn't understand it's all about hiring, training, and retaining talent. And that's why it failed. Step number 3, what works today? Now that I know what my goal is, which was step number 1, step number 2 was understanding which business am I in. Now, in this step, we are going deeper into our business and into that particular skill set area that makes the biggest difference at the end of the day. What works today? Again, using a couple of examples here. My coaching business. It was all about understanding the product, adding value. How do I know if I add value to my customers? I talk to them. I understand why somebody bought from me and why they didn't buy from me. It's actually quite simple. I pick up the phone. I don't write emails. Either it's face-to-face or a phone call, as personal as possible. I understand what is it that I need to do to provide enough value to you. I go as deep as possible, understanding what are my core strengths and weaknesses. Why is it somebody bought from me? Because you were personable, you cared, you were able to see the big picture and help me grow my business when I couldn't see anything beyond the next couple of feet in front of me. If I run a software business or a company, this is also another product related business. Some people have said that if you have a software company, the key to success is to have every detail perfect. And in order to have all those details perfect, you need to have as few of them as possible. So you need to be able to simplify. How do I know if my product is good enough? You again talk to your customers, those who bought from you and specifically those who didn't buy from you. And then all your efforts, like in the coaching example, are geared towards improving your product. So fix your product. If you already have a proof of concept, meaning your customers give you 5-star reviews left and right, and you're asking yourself, why is that I don't grow? Then your problem is marketing. You don't promote enough. Remember, 4 hours every day, and there are 4 ways how you can do it. Run paid ads, post organic social media content, contact strangers, and contact people you know. Those are the 4 ways. When it comes to software business or the coaching business, which are product related, the quality of the product, the quality of the information, fix your product. If that's already been fixed, what do I do next? I want to make sure that people get to test my product. Make sure that it's as easy as possible. Create your offer such that it's impossible to say no to it. Here, basically what you say is that, hey, I have a demo version available on my website. Go ahead and use it. 12 months for free. Make sure that if your product is truly good enough, then you put your focus on the next step, which is marketing. Here, the same thing. I want to make sure that what I add or what I provide to my clients is truly adding value. How do I make sure that's the case? I offer my service for free in the beginning. I have 6 clients and I work for free for all of them for now. Because people, remember this, people pay anyhow. They don't necessarily pay with money, but they pay with time and inconvenience. Even if my product, my software, or my service was free, literally free, so $0, €0, people still would be paying with time and inconvenience because they are putting their most precious resource into that, meaning their time and their focus, so they give it to you. So I'm super grateful if somebody works with me, even if they don't have to pay for the service, but still they are paying one way or the other. And then usually, surprisingly, that money that you're charging is actually the least of their problems or the smallest hurdle. It's the time and the inconvenience. Okay? One more example. What if you have a landscaping business? Let's stick to green here. What if I'm a landscaper? In the summer, I have gardening services. I plant trees and I do all kinds of landscaping stuff. In the winter, in these colder climates, I might be doing some snow work. I might be taking care of properties that are vacation rentals for those people who live in the cities. I make it as effortless and easy for them as possible to maintain the property, whatever my revenue stream is. Or I could have some indoor plant maintenance type of service programs available, whatever that is. So how do I understand what works today? In this particular case, in the service business, I could go and analyze my different revenue streams and the profitability of different product lines or service lines. In this case, let's say I had A, B, and C as my service lines. And all of a sudden, even though my winter business, which was to take care of those indoor plants for my clients, was actually the most profitable. So maybe the step I need to take now, understanding that this is a 20% profitability, but the other ones are 5 and 10, and this is actually 20%. But this is only also 20% of my total revenue today. What if I took 5 steps back and defined a very narrow niche for myself, remembering that the riches are in the niches first. So understanding what works today. If I suffer from overall profitability or lack of profitability, and this little sliver or slice of my business actually ends up being very profitable. What if I double down all my efforts on this? What works today? Understanding that. The same thing if I had clients, kind of running out of space here, but the same thing with clients. Have you done a client review? What is it that is common between those people and those clients who have the highest profitability? Could I reorganize or rank my clients based on those criteria and actually start serving them only? Maybe it's only 20% of all my clients. So what? But maybe that 20% represents 80% of the profitability. So then that would be the key skill to focus on. Understanding what is that works today. You have to go really deep on analyzing every single thing in your business, all little things, whether it's clients, products, physical products, or service lines, and going deeper into nuts and bolts, profitability, revenue, customer satisfaction, and then making your decision based on that. So 4 very different examples here, but the common theme here is to understand what is that works today. That was step number 3. Now that I know what business I'm in and what works today, the next step is to double down on what really works. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't worry about what worked 20 years ago or what might work 5 or 10 years from now. That's not relevant. What is relevant is what works today, where the profitability is, what the customers like, and what is that I should be prioritizing over anything else. Because the order is always this: more, better, and new. We don't want to add complexity to our business. We don't necessarily want to hire new people if we don't have to, or revamp the structure or the process. If we have an existing process that works somewhat, and now that we have identified what works today and we are crystal clear on what business we are in, the simple next step is 1, say no to things that don't matter. Number 2, let some fires burn. Believe it or not, this is a skill that we need to learn, me specifically. And 3, double down on what works. Always, any day, every day, more of what works today before we even try to reinvent the wheel. Because that's what people typically, that's where they go wrong. We don't understand fully what is that is good about our business. We start hiring consultants and we start recruiting people or trying different things. Grass always looks greener on the other side of the fence. But the key is to simplify. The key is to go deeper into our business, understanding our customers and our products, and focus on being really, really good at what we do. And then double down on those efforts. This isn't complicated. Say no to everything else, to those customers, and that's hard, by the way, saying no. This is a lot harder than saying yes. As I have mentioned several times in my channel, I used to be a yes man. I used to think that everything good is on the other side of yes, until I realized that it's actually the other way around. Everything good starts by saying no. When you say no, you get time. With time, you get focus. And with focus, you can be really, really good at something. And that's exactly what we just did here, if you think about it. All these steps leading up to step number 4 is about understanding first what our goal is, then understanding what business we are in, then going really deep into that business, saying, okay, this is what works today. these customers are the ones I should be serving in the future, or this is what I should do with the product so that it becomes the best in the marketplace. But saying no is super hard because we are always trying to boil the ocean and then let some fires burn. Again, speaking from personal experience, very, very hard, extremely hard. And then double down. What helped me with these two, saying no and letting some fires burn, is that I just look at it as a process, believe it or not. I used to be a outcome-driven person. I thought my personal happiness is about reaching this and that. When I truly understood, going back to that past, present, future graph, when I truly understood that all I can do is focus on the present moment, because that's the thing that I can influence the most, or the only thing I can influence, to be perfectly honest, I was able to say no, accept any outcome as a result, and then let some fires burn. It's still hard, and I still need to literally kind of like use scissors to cut my thoughts to the past and to the future, and just focus on what is relevant right now. But this is the process. 1, 2, 3. We double down on what works today. Step number 5, and the last step, your business grows until its next bottleneck. If you think about what we did, we identified why we are now growing, assuming a better profitability or higher revenue is our target, meaning increasing enterprise value. So we identified what is that we need to do, understanding the business we are in, what works today, and then doubling down on that thing that really, really works today. So that unleashes growth. That means we are able to take the company to the next level. The old rule of thumb is that our business always grows until its next bottleneck. That's what we did. So now, when that happens and our growth flattens or we don't have growth anymore, we go back and see what is it that works today. Can we repeat the process, say no to everything else, and double down on efforts that are actually more relevant today? And sometimes the skill set required is completely different when you're at 500K in terms of annual revenue versus 5 million. You need to have different people, you have different problems. And the business you are in could be completely different too. This process needs to be repeated. That's why it's such a good process, because it serves you well regardless of the size of the business. But you always grow until its next bottleneck. And then you fix that and move on again, because entrepreneurship is about going flat out. You drive that car literally on that racetrack as fast as you can until something breaks. Then you go and you get that fixed. You make a pit stop, so to say. And then you go again until something else breaks. And that's how you get to know how capable your car is. In our case, our business, whether it has legs to really become something big and meaningful. This was all I had today. Again, thank you for watching. I highly appreciate it. Thank you for all your time with my videos. And again, if you have any comments, please feel free to send those to me privately or using the comments section here below. Again, thank you. Have a great week.